In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to write a C# function to compare three integers entered by the user. We'll use this function to validate the user's input. This function will check to see if either the second or third integer entered is equal to the first integer, or if you add the second and third integers together, they are equal to the first integer. Let's begin. Let's set up the structure for our C# program. First, we will declare all of the variables we will be using in our program. Second, we will ask the user for the first integer to be entered. This is the integer we will be validating the next two integers against. Third, we will ask the user to enter two more integers. Fourth, we will convert our inputs from strings to integers so we can compare them in our function. Fifth, we will write our function that will validate these integer inputs. And finally, sixth, we will call our function passing in the user's input. As you can see in our example, we have declared four string variables. The first three variables will hold the user's input of the integers we will need, and the fourth variable will be the input for our do-while loop that we will use. Now that we have our variables declared, let's go ahead and ask the user for the first integer input. We do this by prompting the user with a writeLine method, then accept the user's input with a readLine method. We then assign our first variable to this input. Stop the video here. See if you can write the code to accept the next two integers from the user. Does the code you wrote look similar to what we have written? If so, great job. If not, check to see what is different in yours compared to ours. Now we'll have to convert our inputs from the user to integers so we can pass them into our function. We do this using the int32parse method. Here in our example, we have shown how to do this for the first user input. Stop the video here and see if you can write the code that converts the next two inputs from the user. Does your conversion code look similar to ours? If so, great. If not, check to see where it differs and make any changes that are necessary. Now we write the function that will validate these inputs. The syntax for writing a function is as follows. We declare our function to be of type public, so that it can be used anywhere from within our program. Then we write static. We then declare what type the function will be. We get our function a name. And finally, we put our parameters in between the parentheses. Here is the code for our function. We have called our function test, where we pass in three parameters, all of type integer. Then in the code, we need to return a Boolean value since we declared our function of type Boolean. We do this by completing our logical operations. The purpose of this function was to compare the second two integer inputs against the first to see if a. Either of them are equal to the first integer, or b. If you add them together, they are equal to the first. So our code says, does y equal x, or does z equal x, or does y plus z equal x. The function will return the result of those logical operations. Now that we have our function written, we can use the writeLine method to call the function and pass in the user's input to get our result. As a side note, we have enclosed all of our user input code in a do-while loop so we can keep asking the user for inputs until they are done using the program. Go ahead and stop the video here to write your code. How did it go? Did the code work how you expected? If not, check your code against ours and see what is different. This concludes our tutorial of writing a function in C#. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Support Desk channel. Also, check out our other Support Desk videos, and if you have an IT question that needs to be answered, leave it in the comments section below.